In 2014, my life was amazing. I was making a lot of money. I was property millionaire. I was touring people all over the world, American property, Singapore property, and all of them made a lot of money from what I was able to source through a strategy that I learned actually on my own by reading lots of books, but finding a few narrow kind of niches, and especially looking at property cycles. Now, this is not a video about this because it's a video about I made so much cash that I wanted to really not just invest all of it, but do something with it that I really loved and enjoyed. And I'd always wanted to own my own restaurant. So I was based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia at the time, and I was in love with this Malaysian girl. We were about to get married. And long story short, I put a deposit down on a huge lot for a restaurant and I think it was about 8,000 square feet or something like that. It needed a lot of work, a lot of renovation, and a month later I found out she was having an affair with the chef. So that kind of broke my heart in a million pieces because I was truly in love with this girl, and because it was connected with her, this restaurant, I didn't want anything to do with it, and I tried to get rid of it. I tried to offer it to her and her, boyfriend chef, but he didn't have the balls to do it. So I just basically, took me 6 months emotionally to overcome that relationship split. And how I overcame it was I was able to have two great friends. One was an international model who modeled for Calvin Klein and people like that, and one was a British bodybuilding champion. He said, "Listen, Marco, you need to get yourself in shape. You need to get a six-pack." I think I was 47 at the time, 45 or something like that. And I thought, nah, I can't do that. I'm too old and too fat, because I was 25 kilos heavier. But long story short, they spent 6 months with me and I got a six-pack. Unbelievable, got modeling jobs. That was part of the story, but the other part of the story is I had $1 million spare. And suddenly I said, let's do this restaurant. Now, because Malaysia is a Muslim country, I wanted to do something different that was going to be organic food. I wanted it to be a very fresh vibe, that is a welcoming vibe. When you came in, you could do anything you want, be who you are. And I was wondering what the hell can I call this restaurant. So I was thinking for a long time. And eventually I said, why don't we call the restaurant Naked? Now, naked in Muslim countries is a haram word because people take it the wrong way. It's about taking your clothes off, but it's not. The metaphor for basically fresh food, being yourself and uncovering layers, and you just doing what you want to do and partying and whatever it is, right? So anyway, I called it this name. All my friends said, you can't call it that, you'll be banned. So I said, it's the right name. So I called it that name. It got tons of PR attention. And I remember on the first day of launch, there was 1,000 people queuing up for the launch. It was insane, right? Now, that was in just January 2014, called Naked Restaurant. And I really prided myself on the food first, the food quality. I got a really amazing chef. I did some recipes with them. And in the first year, we actually won Tatler's Best Restaurants in Malaysia in 2014 and 15, which I'm still hugely proud of to this day because it's a phenomenal achievement for a first-time restaurant. It was a fantastic place, fantastic vibe, and I was able to do really unique events there, such as a singing competition where I gave 30,000 away for the first prize. Are you willing to get naked for 30k? That was the tagline. It got tons of attention, and I've always been into music, and obviously there's another story about that after. But it was really good. It was really well known, and it got a lot of attention, but it was never like making tons of money because obviously the Malaysian ringgit isn't the best currency in the world, and I was making probably 10% profit a month. I didn't do it for the profit. I did it for something to do because I loved it. It was to do with a brand, which I love, part of me. And it went on for years and years. And eventually that restaurant got known all over the world, even though it was just in Malaysia. And a friend of mine called Rob Fitzpatrick reached out to me when I made my Channel 4 TV show. Said, listen, I love the fact that you're giving homes to homeless families. And I've also seen you've got a Naked Restaurant. I also own restaurants. And to cut another long story short, Naked Tequila, Naked Diablo Tequila was actually spawned partly from that name. Which is now one of the biggest tequila companies in the world. Insane, right? Now, unfortunately, in 2019, after 7 years in the restaurant business, COVID hit me bad. We couldn't open the restaurant for months on end. We were given short notice that we could open again. I had 35 amazing staff. that I kept paying even in the downtime. We didn't have government help in Malaysia. I had to get it in my own pocket to do it. So I battled on for 2 years till 2022, and I had to close the restaurant. Now, before that, I'd actually started a restaurant franchise, and sold a couple of franchises to open, but it was just the wrong timing. I couldn't actually complete the deals. So I gave the money back to those people. And unfortunately, through great regret, I was unfortunately had to close it, right? And really the lesson for me was that it was just a fantastic experience. If it wasn't for the government, it would have carried on. But it did spawn Naked Diablo Tequila, and also Naked Diablo Airlines and Naked Diablo Coffee. Even though it's now closed, the legacy is still there, right? So this is very important to clarify some facts, because I've been called controversial online and not truthful, because there are haters out there that just are very jealous of what you've achieved. They'll say anything to bring you down. Yes, the company did lose money in the end. We did get a COVID loan in England, which we paid off, but it did lose money in the end, and no one lost out because all the staff got paid for 2 years without even doing any work. And I'm very proud of what I achieved there. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. But we didn't really lose in the end, because it spawned 2 amazing projects. And one is now nearly worth $1 billion, Naked Diablo Tequila, and Naked Diablo Airlines is just beginning. So never think that what you're doing is a waste of time. Always believe if it's the right thing, you've got to go for it, get yourself behind it and fight for it. But at the right time, you've got to say sometimes, you know what, it's time to stop this and change it. So that's a little bit of a story of Naked Restaurant, where it came from, where it went to, and what it created as a legacy. And for any entrepreneur watching this, believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing. Follow your gut, but make sure you follow the numbers, get the right people involved, and aim for the highest quality in what you're doing. I actually achieved that with Tatler's Best Restaurants, which was phenomenal. I didn't even believe we could do it. So this is Marco checking in. I'll see you soon.